Riding political peaks and valleys, Postmus was glad to be assessor, San Bernardino County's son, August 19, 2007. Came sweeping out of the high desert as though borne by the fierce winds that so commonly hammer the region's barren earth. His rise to political prominence was swift, a county supervisor at 28 and chairman of both the Board of Supervisors and the county Republican Party within a few short years. It seemed inexorable that Bill Postmus would land eventually in Washington. The winds that carried him seemed to have diminished, however, depositing him in the office of the San Bernardino County Assessor. Postmus startled everyone last year when he announced his intention to seek the post, which already was held by a fellow Republican. He raised more than $2.4 million for his campaign, more than twice what the average candidate for a seat on the Board of Supervisors usually spends, and he needed every dollar to win. Clearly he was a man who had a lot of things going for him, but I don't think he has those things going for him anymore, said Bob Roberts, a longtime GOP political operative from Redlands. He is a very ambitious young man, obviously very smart, but not very practical. If you're going to build a tower, build it with a strong base. Since his departure from the county government center and later from the local Republican Party leadership, Postmus 36 has come under fire from fellow Republicans who have criticized his style of leadership and blamed him for fragmenting the party. In his first interview with his son in more than a year, Postmus shrugged off all doubts and said he's exactly where he wants to be. Postmus said he chose to run for his current post because he wants to become the people's advocate for taxation issues. In the early stages of career as supervisor, Postmus said he decided that he would seek re-election after his first term, but he never planned on seeking a third term, he said. And his focus is on the assessor's office. It kind of excites me being a tax advocate, he said. Being a conservative Republican, what an awesome opportunity to walk into the county assessor's office and being able to start lowering thousands of property values. People will pay less in property taxes. Recently, Postmus took steps towards doing just that when he implemented Proposition 8 to temporarily lower property taxes for 11,000 residential parcels, amounting to about $238 million. It affected a small portion of the county, which has about 840,000 parcels, but he said more reductions will be coming next year as the housing market continues to dip. Party of one. When Postmus first announced he would seek the county assessor post 17 months ago, the reaction by many local politicos, Republicans and Democrats alike, was a furrowed brow. Unlike a supervisor seat, the assessor's post is far less public, less powerful position, which seemed a strange choice for Postmus. After defeating incumbent assessor Donald Williams in November, Postmus stepped down from his position as chairman of the San Bernardino County Republican Party. According to a news release, he was simply too busy in the assessor's office. Plus, he had moved, leaving his high desert home for a condominium at Victoria Gardens in Rancho Cucamonga, and so could no longer serve as the party's high desert representative. Several committee members said at the time that Postmus needn't worry. He would be nominated back into the party as an ex-official, but no such nomination has been made, and according to party sources, none should be expected. Over the years that Mr. Postmus was chairman of the party, he used it in a very self-serving way for himself and his friends, said Barry Hartz, a GOP activist from Apple Valley. He controlled the selection of the executive committee. He conducted most of the business by the central committee by the executive committee and not the elected members of the central. Hartz was once a strong Postmus supporter. During Postmus' first run for county supervisor, Hartz and his wife hosted a meet and greet for the up-and-coming young Republican. But after Postmus took over the party leadership, Hartz said Postmus changed. First he stacked the executive committee with his people. Then he made trouble for anyone he thought he couldn't control politically, Hartz said. When Postmus became county party chairman in 2004, Hartz said he changed the executive committee bylaws to give himself more control and declined to share the annual budget report with the executive committee upon which Hartz sat. I had a problem with it, Hartz said. I still have a problem with it. I wasn't able to complete my fiduciary responsibilities, which were to give oversight to expenditures. Apparently others are concerned too. With 4th District Supervisor Gary Ovitt taking over as County Party Chairman, an audit, or as executive committee members prefer to call it, a financial review has begun to take place. Executive committee members said such reviews are commonly conducted when new officers take over, but several other GOP sources, both local and state, said there are thousands of dollars of potentially questionable credit card expenses that need to be tracked. Roberts said he was told the total could approach $150,000, a figure confirmed by other sources. Some, including Hart's, question why Postmus paid himself as much as $1,000 a month to be the chairman of the county party, a role that is usually considered voluntary. The pay was unanimously approved by the Central Committee members, said Postmus spokesman Adam Ailman, who had been a campaign spokesman for Postmus and later was hired as an assistant assessor. That stipend only covers a portion of the work that the chairman incurs, Ailman said. Postmus said he did nothing wrong as the chairman of the county party and that he wasn't worried about the results of the audit. In fact, I encouraged it, he said. Similarly, he did not seem surprised by the criticism of his leadership style. I'm a type A personality, Postmus said. What more can I say? But I tried to bring everyone into the fold.